Right, we are going to start again with arrays of structures as we have stopped the last topic. And arrays of structures are very, very important, right? What we are going to do is we are going to merge arrays into structures, right? Now, let me tell that we have a structure called employee. So, struct is the keyword again. I'm insisting plenty of times to provide the keyword called as struct so that the complete structure or the complete statements will be considered as a structure. So, struct employee. Inside the employee structure, we have three variables. One is called ID in the form of integer and name and salary. And inside the main function, we are going to create the object. And the object is in the form of array object. Usually we used to see an object as in the form of st. You see the struct employee normal e. It is about normal object which doesn't have any arrays, which is not a pointer object or anything else. It's about a small normal object, right? But now in the statement, right, we are creating an array object. So an array with an array of three, which has been encapsulated with an object, right? I can put three values here. One represents ID, Ravi represents name, and this represents the salary. So essentially, we can provide set of three values, and we are just providing the values on our own. And we use a for loop for I equal to 0, I is less than 3, I plus plus. And we are just printing the ID, printing the name, printing the salary. When I equal to 0, this takes the zeroth value. When the value of I is 1, it takes the first value, uh, second value, and when the value of I is 2, that returns me the third value. Now, let's suppose if I wanted to print the value of I page D, I percentage D, I'm just going to print the value of I also. So we give a tab space. Right, when the value of I is 0, the ID 1, Ravi, and the salary 3000 is written in such a way. When the value of I is 1 and 2, it takes the next values. Right. Now I'm just going to include the other structure. Now I'm just going to declare a variable here with the value 2. Right, I'm just going to create another object called A, and the array object is 2. Right, so I'm just going to get the values from the user, and not like this where we have given all the values predefined, but here we are just going to provide the values on our own. So I'm just going to write a scan statement. So here's a printf provide set of values. So before going to scanf, I'm just going to introduce and follow for int j equal to 0, j is less than 2, and j plus plus. Right. Scanf percentage d. Oops, I'm not going to have. Okay. Let me change this instead of karen because I feel that I'm just getting plenty of data and it's been completely hiding here. So let me remove all these values. So I'm just going to get only two values. Let be an integer value zero. So percentage d, percentage d, comma ampersand a of j dot id, comma ampersand a of j dot the next value salary. Right. I made a small mistake here. Right. This is float value, so I have to use f. Right. Okay. Let me check the code. So I'm just going to tell to the user that provide two set of values, and for int j equal to 0, j is less than 2, j plus plus, because my object is about only two values, right? So 0 and 1 will be checking over, and 0th question is about 1. Okay, fine. So int j equal to 0, j is less than 2, j plus plus. Kind of. percentage D, percentage F, ampersand A of J dot ID and A of J dot salary. Fine. And now I'm just going to print the values. Let me use this for loop as for I equal to 0, I equals and 2, I plus plus. So let me put same I value, ID, and let me remove this name as of now. Fine. Okay, instead of EMP, let me bring A of I dot ID. So A of I dot salary. Let me execute it. I'll provide two data values. Now I'm just going to provide the value ID is 1 and the salary is let me provide 1000. And second set of value 2 and 2000. And when the I is 0, ID 1, salary is 1000. So this is how we say array of structures. And next is about nested structures. Very, very important because you're going to put structures inside the structure. Right. Now what happens here? Now I have a structure here. How do you say it is a structure? Because I have a keyword called a struct, right? So struct owner. My structure name is owner, and I have the variables called char first name of 30 and char last name of 30. And I have to use the structure. This is the first structure, and this is the second structure. So struct car, char brand int here, struct owner. Yeah, this is what we do here. This is called as we are creating an object inside the other structure. We are creating an object. We are creating an object for this structure owner, right? So when we wanted to access all these values, we need to create some object for this car also, right? So please come here. Now what happens here? We are creating another object called struct owner person, and we are creating an object called struct car one. I feel this is little confusion for you people. Let me change the name. This is obj obj own obj own and objj own. So I have just took two different objects, and let me take this as obj. Ah, right now you'll not have the confusion, right? Now this is the structure called owner. I have two variables. I have another structure called car. I have two variables, and an object has been created here. And the main function, so struct owner, object own. We are just providing two values for, because actually obj own is the object of this structure. So we are providing first name as John, last name as Doe. Right, and we have another object called object car, which is an object to this structure car. Now we are providing brand as Toyota. Here is 2010, and person refers to what? Person refers to the structure, but what is the object here? The object has to be provided here. OBJJ fine. Okay. If you feel this is a little tough to understand, let me give you a new example. Int A, int B, and struct owner. Let me take this as C. Right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to access, I'm going to provide the values. Right. I don't want to confuse you because the nested structures is very, very important for us to learn data structures. Right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to provide some value to the variables, right? So how do I access A? How do I access A? So I have not created a object for C car, right? Let me put D. Fine. Now C dot A equal to 2. It is meant that C is nothing but the object for owner, and A is nothing but the variable inside the owner. So C dot A equal to 2. And if I wanted to provide value to B, right? So D dot B equal to 3. Let me print the value and show you of what's right. Percentage D, percentage D, comma C dot A, comma D dot B. Yeah, fine. Why this error has been occurring? Okay. Now the C is dependent on D. Now the C is dependent on D. So can I execute this? Fine. Right, actually, this object C is the reference made by D. So what we are supposed to do, D dot C dot A equal to 2 and D dot C dot A. Let me execute this again because this is in the nested for loop and it is creating some. Right, now we get an output. Right, what happens here is now D is an object to the car, and with respect to D we can access C. So D dot C dot A. So D dot C dot A equal to 2, but D that is not possible here because D can be accessed by, sorry, B can be accessed by a D easily because we don't put that into a nested. Right, to be a nested. So what happens here? The object for this struct owner has been created inside the other structure, and the structure is called as struct car. The object for this structure C is created here, so that's we say it's a nested structure. And to pass the value here for A should be accessed by C, where C can be accessed by a D. So D dot C dot A. So D dot C dot A is 2, and D dot B, it's a direct access specifier. So D dot B equal to 3. When I print the values for D dot C dot A, it prints the value 2 and 3.